Valerie, I met, I guess I would say. Um, I met her, oh, probably 5, 6 years ago. Okay. And I met her when I was doing, when I was beginning classes. Okay. When I was beginning classes, when I met her. And I was actually to that point in life where, I'm like, I'm practicing, and gosh, it had to be more than 6 years ago. But anyway, I was practicing a lot and reading a lot of different people. And I remember I had to go to Florida with a friend. Now, at this time, I lived in upper Wisconsin, like the top. The only thing between me and Canada was Lake Superior. And granted, that's a big lake. But still, that was all. That tells you how high up in Wisconsin I was. And we went all the way down to Florida, and it was this almost 25-hour or 24-hour drive. Anyway, and I'd scheduled readings that week, and Valerie was one of them. And I can remember going, I didn't know if I had this. I didn't know if I didn't have this. I was really unsure of myself. Now, it doesn't mean I didn't have this gift my whole life, but now I'm trying to force this to do it on command. I'm trying to do this on command, like when I want to do this, how I want to do this, the whole 10 yards. So it's learning to open up and saying, boom, I'm going to talk to somebody on the other side, or boom, I'm going to talk to your energy. So it was learning how to do this on command. Just open up and do this. And I'll never forget, I can't tell you how many readings. I had done so many readings, so many. I mean, probably at this time, I'd probably been up to over 2,000 free readings that I had given at this point. And some were good, some were not so good, some just totally flopped. I'll tell you what, sometimes I was in future, sometimes I was in people's past lives. It was all over the place. It was all over the place. And I had no structure. Okay, no structure. And I literally was I don't know if I was afraid to talk to my teacher. I don't know what was going on with me, but for whatever reason, I didn't have this communication with my teacher. And I thought maybe, I was really kind of struggling with that. And I can remember I'd scheduled this reading with Valerie, and I didn't know who she was. You know what I mean? I didn't really, I just kind of put out there, I'm doing free readings, blah, blah, blah. And Valerie actually responded and said, yeah, I would love to. And we made this appointment. And lo and behold, I went to Florida on a whim to help a friend. And I went, oh boy, I got to do this reading. And it was Valerie I did the reading for. And when I was done with that reading, she'd given me so much encouragement and so much direction. And it was just really what I needed at that time to really propel me forward. Okay. And it was freaking amazing. I cannot tell you how amazing it was to do that reading to propel me forward. And it really gave me a lot of trust. So Valerie is one of those people that you have in your life that you look back and you go, wow, bingo. You know what? I needed her at that exact moment. And I have so much love and so much respect for her. And I have followed her since. And she's just this amazing lady. And I think it's also funny because so we have other things going on. So remember what I just said, and let's kind of continue from there. And it's all going to hook together. So another thing that just happened was, or today, is guess what? Ding, ding, ding. We're having a celebration of horns and everything else going off here in my head anyway. This is my 1-year anniversary show. Okay. We started, I believe it was June 22nd of last year. And when we started, it was me and Rob and the internet. You're being Rob. I messed up. I suck with names. Me and Todd, not Rob. He's going to shoot me. But it was me and Todd and the internet. And, he just said, I just love you, damn it. So for the next year, his name's going to be Rob. We'll tell Sherry later. Anyway, we started this. Well, he started this. It was his dream. It was his idea. And he'd been doing his show and he brought me on. And you know what? Just some fool from Wisconsin didn't know what the hell she was doing. Spirit said, you need to be on the radio, and me listening. So that was a huge thing that I got talked over and over and over again about me coming out of my comfort shell, me going on, me moving. And when I started this journey, a year ago, I'll never forget it because similar to the advice, similar, not the same advice, similar to the advice that Valerie given me, um, it basically propelled me forward. Okay. So even though their advice wasn't the same, both of them really propelled me forward into some place where, I wasn't sure of myself. I didn't know if I could do this. I had no faith in me, no faith whatsoever. I was questioning, and if anybody knows me, I was in my head, which is someplace I'm always at is in my head. I'm learning to be less and less in my head. But you know what? These are two people, and I do have a few. I have a lot of people out there. I'll tell you what. I've got. I'm going to say her whole name. I've never said her whole name. I've got another lady by the name of Dana Marshall that has pushed my ass out of my comfort zone and really made me realize I was more than what I was. I've got Lisa Williams out there that literally, God bless her heart, has struggled with my head, has struggled with pushing me out of my comfort zone, struggled with me saying, you know what, I know I'm good enough, and always giving me more and more opportunities to say, wow, I got this, and somebody believes in me. So, I got this whole period, and today is another one of those where I'm going, wow, wait a second, because Todd sent me the link of of his memory of like, oh my God, we started a year ago. I started a year ago. So it was two people and two people in a microphone, and I didn't even have a microphone at that time. Hell, I had a shit computer at that point. Excuse my language. But it was what it was. And I think it's strange because all of this, as anybody out there that knows, or maybe not anybody, but most people know, at least of spirituality, and maybe other people know just because it is. But summer solstice, it's huge, isn't it? Now, if you're anything like me, you know what I mean? You may not always look at what exactly that means. So, and my resolution this year is to always look at those things, kind of get more intelligent, not just have this inner knowing that I've always had my whole life. Now, and if you want to use a clair, it's claircognizance. And after the suggestion of my mentor Lisa, I'm trying to get rid of the word clair and cognizance and just going into the emotions, not the emotions, the senses, because they make more sense and people know what the hell you're talking about. So this clear knowing, information that just drops in your head. I've never never had to be a person that could just had to necessarily look up a ton of information, because when I needed it, it was just there. So I have this resolution this year to Google more, study more, investigate more, learn more. And that's what I've been doing. So last night, you know what? I know the summer solstice is the longest day of the year. I know it's very large in the spiritual community. I know it has some astrological properties. You know what I mean? I know it has to do with moon cycle or sun cycles, just like we have moon cycles. So last night I decided to Google. And I'll tell you what, there's not a whole lot of information on it. Um, but I'll tell you what I found really, and I think are really important factors. And I'm sure I just missed the site that has like it's like the Bible on it. But really what I found about the summer solstice is it has some really unique really unique things. One is not only is it the longest day of the year, and it is. It's the longest day of the year with the shortest night. It also feels, they also stated that some do believe, well, let's stay on the more, scientific part before I go to spiritual. So it's the longest day of the year, and it's due to the axis that we are on and all of that. And even though there's no clear cut when the dividing of the seasons are, we kind of look at summer solstice as the beginning of summer. Da, da, da. So that 90 plus degree weather we've had, it's still been spring. Okay. So eventually we're into summer. We're screwed because today is like 60 degrees. I don't know. We flip flopped. But our summer solstice is our longest day, but maybe for Australia, it's their shortest. Isn't that kind of cool? And it's because of the axis that we sit on. If I'm saying it correct, I'm probably saying it wrong, but it's the tilt of the world that we sit on, which is really cool. Well, now when you look at more astrology type signs of this, the astrology of it, and you're following the sun cycle, just like people can follow the cycles of the moon, when you look at the sun cycle, this is supposed to be the time that We are able to harness easily, more easily the power of the sun at this point in time. And it's for healing and all this other wonderful stuff. And it's a huge energy time. It's a huge energy time, which I truly believe. Now, spiritually speaking, and this is one, of course, you guys know I'm going to follow. And oh my gosh, what is it about you guys? My nose. Excuse me. I've even learned to take allergy pills before I start the show because I know it's going to just start happening. But when you're looking at the spiritual aspect of this, and I love the spiritual aspect, okay? Out of everything I do, I love the spiritual aspect because it just makes sense to me. And the spiritual access is a time of release, it's a time of finishing, it's a time of new beginnings, okay? So yesterday would have been the day that we were really in that cusp of flipping over, okay? Flipping over. So yesterday would have been a time of finishing a lot of projects within your mind, your mentality, your health, your wellness, your mind, body, spirit, whatever you want to call it, but coming to completion. So you know what, other than being Father's Day, by the way, happy Father's Day to everybody out there, whether you are a dad and not a dad, a misplaced dad, whatever dad, you know what I mean? Happy Father's Day because everybody deserves that. And to the mothers that are dads too. There you go. But going back to this, so yesterday may have been a very emotional, day for you on a lot of levels because you might be releasing a lot of those emotions, just letting that all go and go forward. Okay. So which is really amazing. It's really cool. Okay. So what's today then? What's today? Today would be starting the new chapter. So if yesterday is closing the chapter, closing a book, closing the last year, closing whatever you've been working on spiritually, mentally, emotionally, today is starting again, starting a new chapter. So I think it's pretty amazing that today not only is, like my 1 year for starting the show, because I'm like, whoa, this is awesome. Because I remember me a year ago. Oh, I won't even tell you. I remember the show. And I'll tell you what, I know the show effing rocked because it was Missy Hart, and thank God she carried my butt through the process because I was terrified. And you know what? She just said, "Come on, girl, let's get on there. Let's just hoot and handy, holler, scream, shout, swear. Excuse me, just have a great time." And you know what? That show rocked. I think we've aired it an extra time just because it was such an amazing show. And by the way, you can catch her every Wednesday, just in case you want to keep following her. Or on her own Missy Hart, Missy Hart Medium, I think. I'm not sure. Don't just look up Missy Hart, Hart, on Facebook, and you'll find her. But anyway, it was just a rocking, awesome show, and it really catapulted me further, and it's really helped me because over this last year, you know what, I have learned so much. I've learned so much about me, so incredibly much, things I never thought I could learn about myself. And the strength that I have and the ability that I can learn, I can talk. So much I have learned about. So much that I have gone forward with. And it's also showed me that, you know what, through the course of this, there's not much that I am not able to do. Okay? There's not much that I'm not able to do. There's so many things on my list that I want to get done that I have not done because of fear, or fear in here, fear of thinking I'm not able to do this. Okay? Fear of the unknown, fear of the struggle, fear of I don't know how to do it, fear of whatever. Excuse me. And it's amazing because this is a time of the year that happens for all this. So as I was saying, when I said, don't forget about my guest, and when I said about Valerie, but when you're looking at this, so I'm talking to somebody that was part of my life in the very, part of the very beginnings, that really gave me some strong advice about me and my own mediumship and trusting to go forward. Down to a radio show that started a year ago, and then learning about the summer solstice more, and realizing that today is always that day that is for me to restart another chapter. Now, I'm not going to say that I don't have other days because, honey, I am not holding down to one day, and neither should you. Neither should you. But today is really that day for you guys to realize out there, if you know what, if you've been kind of feeling a little off, feeling like stagnant, feeling not knowing where you're going, feeling like, oh my God, I'm getting bored. And it might just be because, you know what, it's time for you to start the next chapter. Okay, time for new beginnings, time for growth, time to move on. And that's just effing huge. That is effing huge. Okay. So, with that being said, with that being said, what are you going to do? What's your next chapter? Okay. I know for me, I don't know if you guys have noticed, my hair keeps getting shorter and shorter and shorter, and it's even shorter in the back. It's even shorter in the back because my daughter's my cosmetologist and she's cutting this like V thing, seeing if I'll trust it. You know, so my new chapters are, you know what, I can release this really long hair I've had, and I don't know if you remember, but it was like down to here before, maybe even longer. So I've been doing releasing of, I can change my look, I can get rid of that security, um, changing some habits at home, you know, for my personal habits, you know, personal habits, changing some of those. Why? Because, you know, you don't have to have these big, huge revelation of things, you know. This isn't like, you know what, I'm just gonna get up and start doing, you know, do my uh New Year's Eve resolutions. I'm not talking about that, okay? I'm not talking about that type of changing habits, which, trust me, is always good and it's always amazing to start any time. But it really is changing into new chapters of your life. It's about changing into new chapters. You know, for myself, and I'll just going to give a better example for myself. I'm looking at expanding my business. I'm looking at, you know, doing things that I never thought I could do or trust I would do, and further myself and pushing myself further. Okay. Which for me is huge. Just propelling myself and pushing myself further so that, you know, I can go someplace. One of those big things is possibly writing a book. Okay. And you like how I still say possibly, um, because literally, I'll tell you what, I have been told for, oh, probably 5 years now, I need to write a book. And it always comes through a reading, always comes through a reading. And I'm always like, yeah, I know, I know, I know. And, you know, it came up the other day, and because Spirit said you need to write a book. And I'm like, I know, but tell me how. Tell me how. I don't know how to write a book. I love to write, but how do you write a book? Really? Like, how do you do this? How do you sit down? How do you formulate? How do you write a book? How do you do this? And it's so funny because on Saturday I got a reading. I got a reading. And it blew me away because the reading was all about how to write a book. It literally, Spirit broke it down for me. They said start with the end, then think about the beginning, write chapter headings so you know what you're going to write about. So every time you hit to another chapter, it's almost like writing short stories. Stories that are 20, 30 pages under a chapter. So this chapter is going to be, you know what, the early years, whatever it is. And that's all you're going to write about in this chapter. That's it. I don't have to worry about writing a whole book. I just have to worry about writing this subject here. Just about this. Nothing else. I don't have to think about this. I don't have to think about what comes after it, what comes before it, how it's going to end because I already wrote the ending, how it's going to begin because that's already been done. I just have to write about this one subject. And I went, wow, I never thought about it that way. It breaks it down to where it's not so overwhelming. And I could not believe Spirit brought that through. Clear as day, without any prompting, without anything. Literally, the lady said, I heard, you know, I see you writing a book. And then, oh my God, on top of that, they seen I was going to write all these children's books. And I'm like, wait, I don't even like kids. Love all. Don't take this personally. There's an age range. Like I'm sure there is for everybody. There's an age range. There's just, you know, there's just an age range of kids. So it's not that I don't like kids. They're just points and times. um, but anyway, going on further with that, so they gave me that. And I went, wait a second, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So it made me step back and think and go, wow. So after I've learned about the summer solstice and new beginnings and this, I'm like, wow, what a perfect time to get that information. What perfect time to get that information about writing a book. So I guess over this next year, this course of time, I'll be writing. And hopefully, and I'm not even gonna say hopefully. It's going to happen. It will be published. You know what? And when it comes out and it's time to do it, I'll bring on somebody to talk about that too. So, but literally this is all about, again, new beginnings. So I'm hoping you're understanding through my own personal stories. I'm hoping you're able to reflect on your life and your stories, your life and what is going on with you. Okay? So, so really what is going on with you? What things have you put behind you? What things have come to a conclusion? What horse are you done beating that you can put behind you and then move forward? Such a cool thing, isn't it? Such a cool thing to be able to do that. Such an amazing thing to be able to do that. To say, wow, I can take that dead horse and bury it and never have to look back. And I can find a new horse to get on. That's pretty cool, isn't it? That's pretty awesome. At least I think it's pretty awesome. So, for myself, I'm looking at this is a time of renewal. This is a time of growth. This is a time to jump off a cliff and make sure there's water underneath you, a really good parachute. This is a time for you to believe in yourself and maybe push yourself beyond your boundaries. Boundaries that you thought you had, Um, oh my God, the peel was coming off my water bottle, and all of a sudden it's like, I have to pull it off. Oh my God, OCD is bad. It's real, guys. It's real. The OCD is real. Turn the bottle around. It's on the other side too. I found this Australian water I love. Anyway, let's go back. So what boundaries do you have? What comfort zones are you willing to push through? What comfort zones do you have that you're willing to push so that you can get more freedom within? And that's what this is about. This isn't about, seeing how much more money you can make. This isn't about can I buy that car? This isn't about anything of that nature. This is literally about you experiencing freedom within here. Freedom within here. Because I can tell you, wow, and that's like a whole new subject, but I can tell you that's huge. That's huge at the end of the day because um, when you're thinking about things that you hold on to, things that you don't release, things that you trap in here. And when I'm talking about trap, I'm talking about, I shouldn't say use the word boundaries because it's really a poor choice of word for what I'm talking about. What's a better word? Limitations, I think is a much better word because I love boundaries. I love people to put boundaries around themselves because boundaries keep you kind of organized, keep you structured, keep you safe, whatever. But maybe limitations is a better word. So what limits you? What limits you? And when you're looking at that, a lot of times it's fear. A lot of times it's fear that limits us. Okay? Sometimes you just, and it's weird because every time I say the words, sometimes it's fear that limits us. I always see the same image, me hitting a button and jumping off a cliff. The buttons get my picture taken, just so you know, for anybody that's done it. But it's literally what getting rid of those limits, getting past what you feel you cannot do. And when you finally push past that, you start to realize that you really are limitless and there's absolutely nothing in this world that you cannot do. Okay? You really start to realize that there's nothing that you cannot do. Okay? And it's pretty amazing because I'll tell you what, it's freeing. It is so freeing. You might as well be jumping out of an airplane with a parachute on your back and just free flying for however long they let you do it, because I've never done it, before you pull the cord. Because it is so freeing to let go of those limitations. And I really do believe, at least for myself, that's what this year, this next year is going to be about. It's freeing up more limitations that I've placed on myself. Realizing that, you know what, even more things that I can do that I didn't think I could do. Realizing that, you know what, when somebody says, hey, do you want to do this? I'm the first one to put my hand up and say, yes, let's go. Let's do this. Okay. I think that's huge. And I hope that you're looking at doing the same thing. And I hope that today, listening to this, that I'm your Valerie, that I'm your Lisa, that I'm your Dana, that I'm your Todd. And you realize that you can push past your limitations and do more and free yourself up. Create a space in here to go, wow, I did that and I can do it again. So, you know what? Write that book. Do a run, jump off of a cliff into an ocean. Zip line across the tops of the trees. Learn to read. And I do mean just read. Learn an instrument. Whatever your heart said that you wanted to do it. Free yourself up to realize that you can do this stuff, that you are so amazing that you can do this. Okay? Beautiful. With that being said, I wanted to say really quick here, before I go to break. Number one, we don't have the top of the news hour anymore, at least not for right now. So when I bring in Valerie, we're going to go for a straight hour. Hoot, hoot, hoot. Number two, we are currently streaming through YouTube. Okay, so if you want to see me and you want to see Valerie, go to YouTube and search for WLTK-DB, and you're going to see it. You're going to also be able to see all past archive shows on that, okay, for future reference. Okay, you can also go to the station. Go on the internet, Google WLTK-DB.com, and it's going to bring you into our station. Okay. Excuse me. It's going to bring you into our station. There's a listen live button. Hit it. You're going to hear me. That's if you haven't already hit it. Okay. But in that station, you're going to see a chat. Click on the chat. Feel free to jump in there. Feel free to engage. Okay. Feel free to engage. Okay. Because that engagement is going to bring you back. It's going to bring you to a point where you can talk to me and you can ask questions and make statements and do everything else. And my producer, Todd, is going to feed that into me. And then boom, you're going to get a live answer. So I have a grandson looking at me going, Nana. He's so cute. Go get a daddy on. Okay, everybody. Well, I'm going to take a quick break, so make sure you stay tuned. Check those things out while I'm off in break going to get Valerie. This is Diet Renee here on WLTK-DB.com radio. Let's Talk Radio on School Through Spirit. Talk to you in a few.
We are controlling transmission.
Let's Talk. A book of mystery. A book of one man's journey. A book of the afterlife. A book you must read. Ghost and Me by 5-time award-winning author Kevin Killen is a book of one man's journey in the search of the afterlife. Read of his chilling childhood experience, his investigative journeys, and his opinions of paranormal activity. Ghost and Me by Kevin Killen, an Ozark Mountain publication. Get your copy today online or wherever books are sold. Paranormal evidence. We scour the internet searching for true paranormal captures, information, and education. New methods mixed with old methods of capturing this mysterious phenomenon. Well, look no further for your ghostly voices than ghostly-voices.com. Nicole Tito and Lisa Crick take you on a journey into their paranormal world and provide you with true EVP and ITC audio captures, compelling information on debunking, some hilarious bloopers, and more. Remember, these two...
Hi, Valerie. Looks like we lost Ed for just a second. I'll try and get her back in here for you. Thanks for your patience.
Voices.com, your paranormal stop for true audio evidence. Ghostly-voices.com. Ever wanted to host your own radio show? If your answer is yes, then the time to act is now. WLTK-DB Let's Talk is now accepting new programming more affordable than ever. You create the show idea and we'll take care of the rest. Not only do we create your program intro and provide broadcast training, but also syndicate you to popular outlets like Apple and Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and more. You get all of this starting at $100 per month. 3 packages to choose from and built to make your wallet happy. Contact us at WLTK-DB.com with your show idea and let's bring your dream to life. All topics accepted and you have full rights to your program. Contact us today and reserve your spot on WLTK-DB Let's Talk. What are you waiting for? Let's do this. Going on vacation can be an overwhelming task. Let's face it. You want the best destinations at the cheapest prices, but where do you even start? The confusion stops now, and Mickey World Travel is exactly where you need to be. Ryan Wren, a travel consultant with Mickey World Travel, will take the reins and leave you with this instead of this.
No way!
From Disney cruises to Walt Disney Parks, Ryan works hard for you and gets you that perfect vacation you deserve. Getting started is as simple as calling 615-815-5529. That's 615-815-5529. Or email Ryan at ryan@mickeyworldtravel.com. Ryan Wren and Mickey World Travel, making memories that last a lifetime.
Todd, are you there? My internet, my computer just went out of nowhere.
Paranormal evidence.
That's okay. I'm here. Valerie's
All of a
here.
sudden it was gone and they sent me a message. They're doing maintenance.
Oh.
Education.
I'm like, are you kidding me?
Capturing this mysterious phenomenon.
Well,
So I went to my phone. So if it sucks, I'm sorry.
no, this is okay. We'll make do. We'll make it happen.
Okay. Sorry.
Valerie's here. I'm going to bring you in here in just a minute.
Perfect.
Provide you with true EVP and ITC audio captures, compelling information on debunking, bloopers, and more. Remember, these two are veterans in the field and know how to capture the true evidence you are looking for. Ghostly-voices.com, your paranormal stop for true audio evidence. Ghostly-voices.com.
Hey, welcome back welcome back. This is Jet Relay here on School Through Spirit at WLTK and Let's Talk Digital Radio. I do apologize. I literally lost internet, like boom, gone. Okay. And then I got a message from my internet company that they're doing maintenance. I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This is not just what happened, but that's exactly what happened. Okay. And I'm like, oh my God. So I do apologize for the longer break. And I believe I have Valerie with me. I'm on my phone now, by the way, guys. I'm on my phone. So Hi, Valerie. How are you?
Good morning, Diet. How are you?
Oh, I was doing great till I panicked. All of a sudden, the internet was gone, and it just went boom. You're out of here.
Yeah, it's crazy how it's actually the internet. Of course, we're in Mercury retrograde right now, so communications doesn't surprise me. So,
I'm like, no, I'm trying not to be affected by. I'm trying really hard not to be affected by that this time. It's not working in my favor.
Yeah. Well, the way I always see it, when these things happen during the Mercury retrograde, I just like you have to laugh your way through it, and you know, and that's really the bottom line. So it always works out in the end.
It always does, doesn't it? Oh, I love it.
Sure does.
Well, thank you for coming on my show today. I am you don't even know how thrilled I am. I was just telling people about you.
Oh,
you know, I was,
you.
and I don't know if you were listening, but I was telling everybody, I said, I've only ever actually met Valerie once, but you really came at a key point in my life, because it was when I was practicing, when I was trying to, figure out what we do it on command, trust in its air, learning to surrender, all of that,
Mm-hmm.
and I had probably done at least 2,000 free readings by then, and still could not figure it out. You know what I mean? I was in people's past lives. I was in their futures. I was talking to their dead people. And here you came, and it was like you just gave me that little bit of advice and that little bit of direction that just went ding, ding, ding in my head. You know what I mean? And to me, I just hold you dear because of that.
Oh, well, thank you. I actually do remember that reading. I remember it, and that's probably about 7 years ago, 6 years ago.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
It has, and I remember it like it was yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, it just blew me away because I was sitting in Florida, and I never visit Florida because I'm not the biggest, I was just there to help a friend. And I'd schedule this reading going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So can you tell everybody about you?
Okay.
I know.
It seems odd. I know. It's like, who wants to talk about themselves, right?
That's right. Nobody does.
No, I'm always at the other end. I always like listening to other people because that's what I do, is listen.
Yeah.
So when I have to talk about myself, it's like, what do I say?
I get that.
Yeah, but I will share a little bit about my life and really how I got to where I am today.
Yeah.
So I know I had the ability as a child. I don't have a lot of memories past my, like, say 10 and down. Like I really don't. But I know I always knew things. And it was kind of crazy. I didn't understand why I knew things. And I had met a cousin of mine a few years back. I got invited down east to do readings. And so my cousin and I got together, and he told me stories about when I was quite young. I was 8, 9, 10. And he says, if somebody gave you a hug, he said, you would just look at them and tell them things. He goes, and you shocked everybody. He said you were such a young, innocent child, and to you it was, and then he said that you would skip off, and go play. And it was like, it was nothing. It was just meant to be said.
Right.
And, but it was more in my early teens that I remember I had a lot of deja vus. So things would happen, and I think to myself, well, no, this has already happened. I know what they're going to say. I know what they're going to do. And it kind of freaked me out a little bit because, again, I didn't understand it. I grew up in, I guess, a very religious home. My grandfather was a reverend minister. So, yeah.
That'll do it.
Yep. And actually, I have to say my dad was probably a little bit more religious than my grandfather.
Oh boy.
Yeah, he was much more strict in that that way anyways. And so I was always afraid to ask somebody, like I really didn't have anybody to ask or go to why these things are happening, or what are these things that I am experiencing. And then, so anyways, what teen life is like in the 60s. So I grew up in the 60s. So it was party time for me.
Right.
And
Makes
and
sense.
then, yep.
It makes
And then,
sense.
yeah, no kidding. I could sit and talk about stories in the 60s for a long time.
That's a whole nother show I'll have to bring you
That's
on
all.
for.
I no kidding, eh? But then when I settled down, actually the my husband, I actually met him. He was actually my mother's hairdresser. And when I was 11 years old, I turned to my sister and I said, "That's my husband. He's going to be my husband."
Oh, wow.
And I was 11 years old at the time. And she always laughed about that after, because we ended up getting married. We we connected when I was 19 and we were together for 47 years. He just crossed over here this last November.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. We had a beautiful journey together. He was actually extremely psychic himself.
Okay.
So it was really amazing. So it really made it that much easier for me to step into the work that I started doing. So he was very supportive with me. But when I had my children, things started happening again. I started having dreams. I started having visions, and again, I didn't understand it. So I actually became a born again Christian again, because I thought, well, maybe there was something that I missed. Maybe there was, that I wasn't paying attention. And
Right.
I tried it for a year and it just didn't pan out for me. I wasn't finding the answers that I needed.
Right.
And because it still wasn't making sense to me. So I just kind of carried on with life. And then as my kids grew up, my daughter was very psychic as a child. She would say and do things, or she would know things that she should have never known.
Right.
And I thought, okay, she's
Right.
got a little bit of mom in her there. So
there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was really, really hard for me to help her if I didn't know how to help myself.
Right.
And so once the kids were kind of growing up and gone, that's when again the visions and dreams, and I actually had 4 in 1 week. And I said, okay. I said, I'm ready. Whatever it is that I need to do.
There you go.
You're
just kind of stuck at that point, aren't you? You're like, yep, there we go.
Well, I didn't have any distractions anymore. I didn't have children,
Yeah.
So, you're not, in your busy life and again, because you question things and you get so we're so tunnel vision because there's school and sports and this and that, and it's constantly, we're always on the go doing things.
Yeah. Yep.
And so it's you just don't take the time, and we don't take the time. And so if I was to give people advice right now, I'd say, please take the time. when you're experiencing something, take the time out for that moment.
Yes.
And
it's really important.
It is really important. And I have no regrets for the way it turned out and the way it worked. Because to me, that was the way it was supposed to be. That's just the way I see it. So when I was having these dreams, and then we had, back in 1999, we had moved from one city to a little village, actually. There was only about 1,200 people there. And when we bought the house, the first night we stayed in the house, I woke up in the middle of the night and my cupboard doors were banging. And I what was really strange, because if you had asked me, said to me back then that I would be doing mediumship, I would have said, you're crazy.
Right.
But for some reason, when I woke up, all I did was yell out, and I said, Ethel, be quiet. It's the middle of the night. And I'm trying to sleep. And it stopped. And I went back to sleep.
There you go.
yeah, but the place that we had bought, this Ethel, she actually used to come to our salon and get her hair done all the time. And she had passed away. She had crossed over. And so I don't know why. It's just like it was a knowing. I just knew. And she just wanted to make sure that I knew that she was there.
Right.
And what I realized in that moment, she just wanted to be acknowledged. And the moment I acknowledged her and let her know, I know, Ethel, you're here. And I loved her. I really did. I really loved her. So that was a really, really phenomenal introduction for me into the mediumship world.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah. And so I really have to thank her for that. Yeah, that was nice way to get eased in.
I liked it.
Yeah. I think I lost you, my dear. Hey, Dia, are you there?
What's going on?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Do you have me back?
I hear you.
Okay, thank God. Oh my God. My internet is going back and forth. Now my phone just hooked back up to internet. So go ahead with your story. Mercury is just messing with me today.
Oh, I think it messes with us all. So even my computer and things. Actually, I'm using my iPad right now because I can't even use my computer.
Oh,
so
wow.
it has a mind of its own. So I did order a new one, but it won't be here until July. So yeah.
Well, it's funny because I literally bought a new computer last year because all I had was issues with my old computer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
that's what.
And right now I'm switching from phone back to computer, but keep talking because I'm loving your story.
Yeah, I lived up in a really oops.
So you lived up where?
Yeah. So I lived up in northern Saskatchewan. That's where I had moved to.
Okay.
When Ethel decided to show up for me, and it was a really, really small village, and it was actually a Métis community. And then there was the reserves around, but we had bought a place that was right on the Churchill Lake, and beautiful, absolutely beautiful. But I actually went through a really bad depression at that time.
Oh.
And yeah, I went into a really deep, dark place, and which is good because it was really, really what was happening, which I didn't understand at the time, that I was really going into my shadow self.
Right.
And I think, I'm not gonna say I think, I actually felt I actually lost myself. I lost my identity. I lost who I was.
Yeah.
And that's why I felt that I went through that depression. And I was actually going to commit suicide, believe it or not. I'm not shy to speak about it because I understand there's many, many people out there that we've all gotten to that point. Yeah. But I did have spirit come in and intervene and said, no, yeah, we got things planned for you. But it was such a great experience because when I had that awakening moment, we were actually on the road because for us to go get groceries, like because we actually had we called it a bed and breakfast, but we had work crews. And so I fed them. So it was a 5-hour trip for us to go get groceries. So we tried not to do it too often.
Wow, that's a hike.
Yeah, it is. It was a real hike, but it was beautiful country. And that morning that I had chose, my husband got up that morning, and he never liked going grocery shopping, but for some reason that morning he said, hey, let's go get groceries today. And I thought, okay, well, what's one more day, right?
Right.
And as we were traveling that road, there was this inner voice that spoke to me, and the only thing it said was, it's time. And it's like, I knew exactly what it meant. I cannot explain it to anybody, but I knew inside. And the tears, I wasn't crying, but the tears were coming down. And I was actually watching the trees as I was going by, and all the colors changed. The greens became vibrant. It was like everything was breathing. Everything was alive. And it just really, really took me for, like, I can't explain it in words, because nobody would be able to understand what I felt in that moment. And I knew, yeah. And I knew right in that moment, my life changed, and it was really about connecting back to myself, because my whole life was about giving to everybody else, putting my kids first, putting my husband first, putting everybody else first, that I forgot who Valerie was.
Yeah.
And I think that was one of the hardest things, because we do put ourselves on a burner. And these are the things that we're taught. We're taught never to be selfish. It's always to look after somebody else, and you put yourself last. And I realized after, no, I got to put me first, because if I don't put me first, how can I give to somebody else?
Right.
It just, I just felt like I was always constantly being drained, and I didn't understand at that time until how energy worked.
Right.
And the moment I realized, it was like, wow. And then the whole spirit world, the psychic ability, everything just seemed to open and flow. It was amazing, actually. I was quite taken back by it. A lot of learning and understanding. But I think the bottom line for me, and this is one of the things I always say, we're all the teachers, the teaching, and the taught. We all are. And what I realized is that I really had to learn to trust me, trust my instincts, trust my intuition. And the bottom line for all of us that do readings and work in the spirit world, we do have to remove ourselves. We do have to trust what comes through, even if it sounds crazy. It doesn't matter what it sounds like, because it's not for us to put a story around it. And that's the one thing that I learned is, and I think when I first stepped into it, it's almost like I felt like, well, I'm supposed to say that. So right away you go into the head and you think you have to put a little story, and that's where it actually, I found where it gets lost.
Yeah.
And sometimes if I just spout it out, said one word, they knew like that what it was that I was saying. I had to remove myself out of it, and I'm going, wow, okay.
Yep, exactly.
This is really quite cool.
Yep.
So, yeah. And
completely
so,
get that.
yeah. And I do feel that if we always stay the student, I really find that's when our knowledge expands and our wisdom expands, because I love being a student, even though I'm a teacher.
Yeah.
I love being a student. I love taking courses. I do. I love learning. I want to learn something new all the time.
Right.
And I always say, well, you know what? When the day that I quit learning is the day that's when I transcend. And that's okay. But I do. I love
another learning experience in itself now, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. And so I got into, when I did actually the mediumship first, I actually didn't even understand what I was doing. I really didn't. The psychic or the mediumship, I didn't. I had flown to New York, and I went to the Omega Institute or
Oh,
school. That was, yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I always wanted to go there. Haven't done that yet.
Yeah, it's beautiful, really beautiful. And that was my very first experience. And James Von Praw, Tony Stockwell, oh, what's his name?
John Edwards? No, I don't think John's.
No, John.
Holland. Maybe?
Yes, John.
John
Yeah,
Holland?
John Holland. Josie Goschek from Holland and
Yeah.
Marilyn Wall from Australia were going to be there teaching mediumship.
Wow.
And yeah, and so I'm flying there, and I'm I'm in the air, and I'm going, oh my God, Valerie, what are you doing? I mean, you've never done this. I don't even know what to expect. I don't even know what the heck I'm doing.
Right, but you're there. Why not? You're there.
But something told me that I really had to go.
Yeah.
And it was for a whole week, and it was the greatest experience of my life. And I think what really cinched it, there was actually a couple things that actually happened to me when I was there. And there was during one exercise that they had doing it, but we were only doing like really quick 5-minute readings. And it was actually a really good practice because it really made you kind of be in that moment. And I remember there was a girl that sat in front of me, and all of a sudden, all I could see was this. It was such a strong white light. I had never seen this light before like this. It was so bright that I was tearing up. It was so bright. And then I saw two people walking through, a man and a woman, and they were holding hands. And I looked at her and I said, so I explained to her, I said, there's a man and a woman that's coming through. They were holding hands. And I said, there is so much love. Like, I mean, the tears just started coming.
Right.
I said, there's so much love. And here her parents had crossed over. They died in a accident, a car accident. And so they had come in together. And that right there just told me, okay, I need to do this.
Right.
It just the feeling in my body, and that's the first time they'd ever come through for her. And that changed everything. I said, okay, I can do this.
Right.
It doesn't matter. I can do this. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is too cool to have that.
Yeah. And, and so I've had some pretty good experiences throughout, but I will admit, and because I'm sure we've all gone through this, but I struggle too as a medium. I question my ability. I question, a lot of things.
Yeah.
And it's really hard. And one of the things that a lot of us do is we compare ourselves.
Oh, isn't that awful?
We do. We compare ourselves all the time. And and that made it really difficult for me. And then I started to step away a little bit because I thought, well, they're like this, or somebody would say this, or, blah, 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 and kind of on. And it really put a lot of self-doubt. And I sat down and I did a meditation about it. And what I was told is that we're all unique in our own ways. And it doesn't matter what a person will say to you or how they say it to you. If you stick firm to your truth and to what you get, if they're the ones that are gonna miss out in the message.
Right.
You're the messenger, and some people are going to shoot the messengers, and some people are going to write. And I actually experienced that my very, very first week doing that, actually at that school, in that class.
Right.
And I had a woman, and anyways, this guy came through, and he was a farmer. He showed me, he was in farm clothes, and I saw the fields and stuff. And I thought, oh, this is really cool. Because I never considered myself clairvoyant.
Right.
But I can literally see it.
Wow.
And yeah, it was really quite interesting. That's only happened a few times.
Right.
I'm more clairsentience, clair-knowing, claircognizance, or
Okay.
whatever, but
Yeah.
just a few times that I've been very clairvoyant. And so I told her, and she wouldn't accept him. And because I said, you know, farmer, hard worker. And then she told me after she wouldn't accept him because he was a lazy whatever.
Oh, really?
And I was shocked. I kind of looked at her and going, huh? I'm going, oh, okay. You
Wow.
have issues. That's okay.
You got issues.
Yeah, you got issues.
That's
But
okay.
it actually happened twice that day. So when I was in my room, that's when I sat down and I was crying, and I mean, I was literally bawling, and I'm going like, what am I doing here? Like, and my guides come in and said, no, you did good. You stuck by your guns and you stuck to what you were given.
Right.
And you didn't waver. You did not waver. You didn't allow her to make you go back and rethink something. You stuck. And I'm going, oh, wow. Okay.
Right.
So they wanted to show me. So I got a little bit of everything. It wasn't she was doing that to be mean to me. It's just whatever was going on in her life. But she was actually a really good teacher for me in that moment, because she taught me it's so, you know, that I don't need to change the story. Whatever I get, allow it to come through, and wherever it may go. It's not.
And doesn't it amaze you every time?
It does.
It does for me. It does for me, because while you're talking, I keep thinking, I had a guest on a few weeks ago, Deb, and we had like 15 minutes left, and I ran out of things in my head. I went blank. And I literally went, Spirit, what? And they said, ask her what's for dinner. I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? Okay, fine. I'm like, okay, I'm here to ask you what's for dinner. She's like, oh my God, that's the other thing I love to do. What? You know? So I use mine all the time. I'm a cheater. I'm always working with Spirit to say, help me through life.
Yeah. I think we all kind of do that, you know, and that's good, because to me, they're no different than you and I sitting here having this beautiful chat. And I think this is, you know, even this morning when I woke up and I mean, I have certain little symbols and stuff, and if I see a misty green, I know that it's going to be maybe a little bit bumpy today. So prepare. This morning I saw my purple swirls, and I thought, oh my God, it's going to be an awesome day. So I was really excited. So I just made a move. I moved from one province to another.
Yes, I heard. I've seen that.
Yes, so really, really exciting.
Oh wow!
Being on Vancouver Island, it's really beautiful here. Like, oh my, and you know, I've always wanted to be here.
I've crossed into Canada a few times, and I'll tell you what, the last time I was there, I actually made it a little ways in, seen the gas prices, got scared and left.
Oh yeah. I know the gas prices here compared to where I was is a big difference. But you know what? There's a lot of other things that for me, it doesn't matter. The gas price, and my car's been parked since I got here, so for a month.
You know, I'm determined, if I want to go to Canada, I'm just going to have to fly in to where I'm going to go and learn. I'm going to walk to every place.
Yeah.
You know?
Actually,
so pretty.
Yeah. It is really beautiful. The island is really amazing. We actually went to Avatar Forest and walked in there. Beautiful. They've got forest and trails and you name it. So I'm in my glory with connecting with Mother Earth.
I can believe that. I can believe.
Yeah.
And it's weird because I have done like I said, I've never seen, you know, not any part, but most all of Canada I've never seen with my own eyes. But I do readings for people that I see them moving to Canada, and I see them moving there, and it's like wonderful things happen to everybody that moves there. You know, it's like a magical place.
Well, I don't know about right now, but it is magical. You know what? Everything can be magical you know, it's funny, since I moved here, everything else that's going on outside, it doesn't seem it even exists anymore for me since I've moved here. And, but again, I'm busy, I'm settling in, and because I'm here just to connect with nature, be with Mother Earth, because I do have trees and things that talk to me. I have animals that speak to me. Actually, I'm in a co-author in 3 books.
Oh, wow. Yes. I want to talk about that.
Yes, that was really quite exciting. Now, I have to be honest, I'm not a writer.
I was just talking about that before you came on.
So there you go. See?
Yes.
So I want to share this story with you because it, again, see, this is how the universe shows us that we can actually do anything.
Yeah.
So a few years back, about I believe it's maybe 3-4 years. I don't know if I got this email, I got something to be a co-author. And I got really excited in the moment. And so I read it, and then I started to kind of hee-haw. Yeah, no, well, I don't know how to write. And I've never written anything.
Right.
And so finally I thought, oh, what the heck, I'm going to do it. So I sent the email back and sent the payment, and then I sat down and I wrote, and it took me, well, a month. I probably rewrote it at least a dozen or more times.
Right.
And then I sent it in, and of course they do the editing too. So, but it actually turned out really good. And then there was a guy that was a part of the book, and he was actually doing his own book. So he actually called me, and he said, how would you like to put a chapter in my book instead of just like a page? And I said, okay.
Right.
And so I did. I wrote a whole chapter. What I did is I took the first story that I had in the other book, and I just expanded it in more into a chapter. And so I sent that to him, and he had called me back, and he goes, look it. He said, I really would like you to put another chapter in my book.
Oh, wow.
Well, I said, but Brian, I don't know if I can think of it. He goes, every time I talk to you, he said, you got a million stories. He said, you got so much to write, my dear.
Right. Right.
So I said, okay, I'll do it. And so I did. And so I ended up with 2 chapters in his book. And then there was a series, the first book that I was in, it was a series. So they were doing their last book in the series. So I actually put four little short stories in that one.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's just like, yeah. And I still sometimes have to pinch myself to say, oh my God, Valerie, you're actually a co-author.
Yeah, that's huge.
It is huge, but it's amazing the things that if we actually put our minds to something, we can do it. And I think it's a really good learning lesson, because we as humans limit ourselves to so much. And when we think that we can't do this, then we can't do it if we think that. But I've always found, really since my awakening, and I've learned to actually step into things that I fear the most.
Right.
Anything that I really fear doing, those are the things that I will step into, because it's almost like I have to prove to myself. It's just like fear says, it's a false ego appearing real. I actually have another saying for that, but I don't know if I'm allowed to say it on the radio.
You say it. You say it. We're on YouTube. You can swear all you want.
Okay, it's fuck everything and rise.
There you go. I love it.
That's me. That's my version of fear.
I love that.
Yeah, because that's just the way I see it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the way I even do my readings. If I'm going to swear, I'll swear. You know, it's
I
like,
do a lot
sorry,
of
but
that. I look at people going, oh my God, I've got such a potty mouth today. I'm so sorry. They're like, you don't know how much I swear. Go ahead. And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
it makes sense.
I know. Exactly. You know,
Right.
because
It-
it's a much more relaxed atmosphere when you can truly be who you are, be yourself, and you know, and allow things to flow the way they're supposed to flow.
Exactly.
And yeah, and you know, it's such a yeah, I really like that one. Fuck everything in rice, because it's just like, okay, we really need to do that.
I love that. I
Because
love,
there's so much out there that stops us from doing things or moving forward. You know, I mean, there's a lot of things in my life I thought that I could not do, but I've also proved myself, you know, wrong by delving into it and saying, no, I'm going to do this anyways.
I
So
was just talking about that before you came on, and it's funny because Spirit always gives me a topic, and I told my producer before we started, I said, I don't know what the hell I'm going to talk about. They haven't told me, so I just start babbling, you know, and talking about the summer solstice and how it's, you
yeah,
know, we're, you know, and the way the solstice is about releasing one and going on to the next, and that we're limitless,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
we're
yeah.
we're just so limitless.
Oh, we are, and that's the beauty, and that's actually what's happening now.
Right.
Like a lot of things are shifting and changing, and now we're actually the whole veil is really thinning, and
Yeah.
things are happening. My one granddaughter, like her psychic abilities are really expanding.
Yep.
So it's really amazing. Like she'll phone her mom, hey mom, blah, 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 you know, she's all excited.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that just
And
happened with me and my daughter the other night.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, but like with me and my daughter, well, me and my daughter and her husband went on our first paranormal investigation. In other words, we went on a tour that they investigated and we watched.
Oh, cool. Oh, interesting.
It was a learning experience, but it was so cool because I would walk in the room because I've always been terrified of doing that. But so I'm like,
Yeah.
let's go do it. You know, because I love talking to dead people. I don't want them to say boo. You know,
Can I share something with you?
What?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Now we're on the giggle. So I'm going to give everybody a giggle.
Let's go.
So when I first was going to step into the mediumship, I went into meditation because I said to my guides, like, you know, I don't know. I said, I'm really kind of afraid of these things that go bump in the night.
Yeah.
And my guide said to me, Valerie, the only thing that's going to go bump in the night would be you if you had one too many drinks. So get over yourself. And well, I burst out laughing in the middle of this meditation. I'm going, what?
Right.
It's like, seriously?
Right. That's just
like,
it.
oh my God. And I got really comical guides here because that they've done this to me a few times. You know, when I go to question something right away, they'll always tell me to get over myself. Come on, Val, just get over yourself.
Right.
You know, but they're yep. And I thought, okay, as long as I don't have to worry about things that go bump in the night. So, but a lot of that comes from our teachings and you know, and this is not just from this life. This is coming from past lives. You know, and the religions and the evil and the, you know, and that and how you know, we've been taught to stay away from this stuff. But it's such a, I don't even like to call it a gift because I think everybody has this ability.
Yeah.
We all have the ability. There's just some of us choose to step in to do it as work. You can use it. You can use your ability to for everyday life, to make decisions, all sorts of things, you know.
And that's just it, you know. And your guides are always going to be there to help you, you know, no matter what. You know, because like I was saying, before I started giggling so much, I was laughing because I don't know about you. Well, I know you said you didn't have many memories before 10, but my first memories of dealing with anything from the other side was really being a child. And it's like, I don't have a lot of memories of being a kid, but this was it always stands out. And it was because it was almost nightly where I was terrified to go to bed because as soon as the lights went out, I could hear things and I could feel things and I knew things were there. And I would sit there terrified, almost screaming, Mom, but nothing would come out of my mouth, you know? So that bump in the night thing has always scared, and it's still up until literally Saturday has always scared me, you know? So, you know, for me to go on these paranormal investigations are for me to push me past my limits and get over my fear factor. So it's so funny when we're going through this insane asylum, everywhere we went, I didn't have a problem because I could see. Well, they tell us they're going to take us into the basement. I'm going and into the tunnels. I'm like, oh God, no, that's my fear factor right there. You're going to get me. Like, that's going to terrify me. And through the building, they're not getting much activity. Well, they're taking us into these tunnels. And as we're walking into the dark of the tunnels, all of a sudden, clairvoyantly or through my eyes, through my sight, I could see people having sex along the walls. What is going? I'm in the tunnel and this is really dark and dirty and there's the piping is running through. It's low ceilings. I'm seeing parties going on. I'm seeing nothing but sex with nurses and doctors and patients and all this going on. And I'm like, oh my God. And it was so funny because when we got down there, all of a sudden they started telling the stories of this is where the nurses and everybody went to have party and have sex and all this stuff because they weren't supposed to do it, you know? So I started laughing, going, oh, really, guys, you're having a good time. They're trying to get me over the bump in the nights. You know what I mean? So they would show me in my head, like a fight break out, you know, because they were drunk and stupid. And then all of a sudden you start hearing the clatter. I'm like, oh, thank you. So they were literally getting me over my fears, you know, with comic relief, no less.
Aren't the guides amazing though?
They are.
And they do that for us just to show us really there is again nothing to fear. Really there isn't. And I truly believe that for the reason that I don't think we would be led to do this work. If there was something to be afraid of. You know, and so it's even like divination tools. You know, how there's so much stigma on certain so somebody had mentioned one time in a group about the Ouija board and everybody's going about how evil it is. And I said, well, what's the difference between a Ouija board and a pendulum?
Bingo.
And yes, so I always say everything is always going to be about intention. So it'll always be the intent when you're working with the tool. And when you're working with the tool, you know, there's proper protocols, there's proper, you know, you know, I mean, everybody has their way of working with it, with certain tools. Like, because I want to delve into everything. Like, I want to learn to scry. I want to learn it all. I mean, why not? You know, whether I use it or not, but just the learning of it and understanding of it.
Go there.
You know, just it's like I said, I can't get enough learning. It's like I'm a sponge. I want to soak this up.
I know, like for myself right now, I'm like, you know, I blend really beautiful with spirit and I can do really deep blends, but I want to learn to trust, surrender, and just go to trance. You know, me jump out, they jump in. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I have got such a burning yearning to learn how to do this and do it, you know? So
even the psychic detective work is really what time now. That's the path I'm kind of delving into right now.
I was going to ask you which direction you're going right now, because as everybody knows, we never, you know, I tell everybody, I'm like, you know what, you might start out this, but you're going to end up something totally different, you know?
Exactly.
And the journey is just amazing. You know, it's kind of like becoming a nurse and going into the medical field and starting on the medical floor. And by the time you retire, your career has been all over that hospital, you know?
So, exactly.
So what are you finding with forensics mediumship? Because I'm in a year-long class for that right now. So what are you finding?
Oh, are you?
I am.
Oh, awesome. I'm so jealous.
I don't want to investigate. So don't get me wrong. I don't want to. that's not my goal. And Spirit, I don't think led me for that. It was to open up those skill set
Yeah,
and see how much more I could do. You know what I mean?
exactly. I
And
think that is the bottom line.
yeah,
It fascinates me only because I had a few experiences with like I had taken just a mini course from Pam Coronado,
you're right.
psychic detective. Yeah. And actually I actually did pretty good in that beginner's class. The only place where I wasn't very good when it came to the vehicles, I'm not a vehicle person, so that just totally eluded me. But that's okay, you know. I mean, that's
Yeah.
you know, we all have our strong points, and that's why I always say we need to. It would be great to have a circle with all these beautiful psychic mediums, and
Yeah.
because all of our abilities are different, and we all have a different, unique ways of doing things. And you know, some people are really good when it comes to landscapes and stuff like that, or jump, like whatever places. Some
Right.
people are really good with other things. So if you could put a room full, just think how powerful we would be. You
It'd be
know,
amazing. Yeah.
it would be so flippin' amazing. And it's like that's the part I've always felt. We have to remove the jealousies. We have to remove the competition, because to me there isn't competition. And we, even when my husband and I had our hair salon, like we ran a salon for 40 years. We were both hairdressers. I was also a certified nursing assistant.
Oh my God, that is too funny, because the whole time you're on your phone, I'm on the phone, I'm like, I'm looking at my hair, like, I need to go shorter. I need to do this. And I don't know if you know this, I'm in a salon.
Oh,
If I take
okay.
that, can you
Yeah.
see me?
Yeah, I can see you.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Oh my goodness. Yep.
I'm gonna
Oh my
put this
goodness.
back up. But it's my
Yep.
daughter's in-home salon.
Yeah. Wow.
Where's it gonna fall? Very good.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, so again, being in nursing and you know, being a hairstylist, you know, we're working with people, we're touching people. So it doesn't surprise me that we always, a lot of us end up, and I've met so many people I've met, either are hairdressers or nurses. So
Yeah.
it's really quite crazy, but it's because we're with people, we're working with people day in and day out,
Exactly.
you know, and we pick up things. And especially, you know, I find with hairdressing, like when I was touching people's heads, you
Yeah.
know, and I would get things, and it's like, okay, and I would just kind of push it off, thinking, okay, I'm just crazy here.
Yeah. But
No.
that's exactly it. And I mean, I have so many students that are hairdressers, and they're like, why am I going crazy? I'm like, you're in their aura, you're always in their fields. Of course,
Yes.
you're going to get this
Yep.
information. Now
Yes.
let's help you make sense of this information.
Exactly.
Let's
Exactly.
make sense of it so you don't go crazy, you
Yeah.
know, or
Yeah.
learn to protect your own energy so you're not taking on everybody else's, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I love that. So where have you found throughout, you know, your mediumship from the beginning until now, where have you seen this really take you, you know, on this journey? Like, you like right now, I know you're like into, I guess, what has the journey, you know, taken you from like mediumship to just regular mediumship into psych detective into, you know, into the different
Yeah.
paths? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So when I first got into the mediumship, of course, I went to the Arthur Findlay College in England.
Oh my God, I'm so jealous. Okay.
Yeah. So I did 2 weeks there. I went to England for a whole month. It was really phenomenal. and between the one in New York, before that, when I left England, you know, it's funny, from all the teachers that I've had, and I think this is why I teach the way I teach. The first thing I do is I tell my students, please do things the way you do it, that makes you comfortable. Please don't do it the way I do it.
Right.
You know, I can give you the information, I can show you, but if I'm gonna demonstrate, don't feel you have to do it. Because I said, the moment we try to do something the way somebody tells us, a lot of times it doesn't work. But if we stick to our guns, and I think in all my learning, so it's really taught me an awful lot. And really the bottom line, it was about trust.
Yeah.
It's not just trust from what's coming from the other side. It's trusting yourself. And because I always say everything is from spirit, through spirit, to spirit.
Yeah.
And so I really had to learn, and actually that's where my growth really expanded. And I've loved all my teachers, and like I said, I'll still be the student.
Yeah.
Because I love learning. I love to practice. I love to be able to do all those things.
Right.
And because there were some groups that I joined where I would just do practice reads. I would just read for people, like pull one card, or most of the time in my one-on-ones with people, I don't normally use cards. I just go with what's given with me. But that actually brought me, I did the circuit. I'm with the New Earth Expo.
Okay.
And I travel around with them to different cities.
Oh, wow.
And do readings.
Okay.
And so that was really interesting. It was really funny how actually that happened, because I got a call from a woman and asked me if I wanted to be in the shows. And I actually got really nervous. I was scared. I thought, oh, there's no way, that I could do that.
Right.
But again, because I had to step into my fear, I said yes. And then I always shake my head after, because like, Valerie, why do you always do that to yourself? You really like to torture yourself. But it was the best thing. Again, we always find out after, when we step into it. Once we've stepped into it, we think, wow, this was the best, thing that I could have ever done for myself. And I've done that for a couple of years. I got one more coming up in October.
Awesome. I was just going to ask, are you still doing it?
Yeah, well, I think this may be my last one.
Oh.
Yeah. Only because I kind of want to go in a little bit of a different direction. And now that I've moved, most of them are in Alberta and I'm in BC.
Okay.
So I would have to fly, and yeah, so it would be
start your own thing over there.
Well, my daughter and I, like, because they bought a place, and it actually has it's, well, I guess you can call it a basement suite, but it isn't, because it's like I'm right on street level.
Right. Right.
And yeah, so we're thinking about, we might open up a little business here, and she's thinking she might tap into maybe do readings too. So we might open up a little, yeah. So do that, and then I can also do the psychic detective on the side and do a little bit of work there. Yeah, and I'm just going to do like a lot of practice stuff before I actually. I did have one experience, though, because I did work for the RCMP. I was a guard, and okay. one of the members one night, it was actually kind of funny. She comes to me. She goes, "Hey, you want to help me work on a missing persons?" And I said, "Sure." So she showed me the picture of the person, and I looked at the person, and I said, "Well, I don't know if that's going to be a good outcome." Because I said, I feel like he's dead. But then anyway, so I didn't have a pendulum, so I quickly made a pendulum, and so I went into the map room, and I went over the maps. So I showed her the area where the pendulum was the strongest, very strong actually. Anyway, she was going out, and I said to her, I said, actually, I said, I need to see his picture once more. So she showed me the picture, and I said, you know what? I said, you're actually going to waste your time. I said, he's actually going to show up okay. the next day. And I didn't understand why I said that. Because usually it's either dead or alive, right? I've always just done dead or alive.
Right.
And so this was my first experience with this. So anyway, she went out, and she was in an area. So I said to her, she called me, she goes, "Okay, I'm here." And I says, "Well," I said, "I see two little buildings in front of you." I said, "They're identical, but they're just a little short." Sure enough, she took a picture and sent it back.
Right.
I'm going, "Oh, okay, this is cool." So then I described something else on another side of her, and sure enough, she took a picture and sent it back to me.
Right.
And then the third, I said, "Oh, there's a couple dumpsters there, and blah blah blah." And she took a picture, and she goes, "Oh my God!" So I was seeing through her eyes. So I was really quite taken back by that. I thought, "Oh, I didn't know I could do that."
That's awesome.
And yeah, so anyway, she come back to the office, and anyways, he did show up the next day, and I realized why I got dead at first, and then why I questioned it after, because I did see such slight movement in the picture in his eyes.
Right.
And what I realized is he was dead drunk. So
oh, okay. That makes sense. There you go.
yeah. So you see, this is how we learn things. So it's okay to be wrong.
Yeah.
It was okay to be wrong. And I said to her, I said to her the next shift when we worked together, I said, "Wow," I said, "that was really cool." I said, "That was a great learning curve for me." You know, and so that's what I love about all this work. And well, it really doesn't matter which area I'm in, whether it's the mediumship or, because a mediumship is never the same.
No.
Ever, ever, ever. It is never the same from one person to the next. It's always something new. We're learning something new. I'm constantly even being taught through mediumship many times.
Yeah.
And which is really great. So I'm not giving anything up. I'm still going to do that aspect of it. I'm just going to be doing it different.
I love it.
And I think that's the beauty of it. Because once we learn something, we don't unlearn something. It's something that we're always going to use. It's always going to be there for us.
Right. Exactly.
And, yeah. So,
exactly. So
yeah.
what is something, if I was going to ask you, what is one piece of advice you'd give to anybody?
Wow. I got lost.
You already did it for me once, so I know you can do it twice.
Oh boy. You know what? I think because of everything else that's going on in this world, we have to just be open to every and anything.
Yeah.
Just one thing I think I've learned especially in these last couple of years is, I'm a sovereign being, and what's right for one person may not be right for me, but what's right for me may not be right for somebody else. And I think we have to start learning to honor and respect one another. It doesn't matter what our beliefs are, what our feelings are, or any of those things. And because we really need to bring compassion back into this world, because it's missing. Mm-hmm. And the compassion will always start within ourselves. And we're our own worst enemies. We beat ourselves up constantly. And so it's really important to stop beating ourselves up. If I've said something to somebody, I don't lose sleep at night, because obviously it was meant for them to hear that in that moment. And I'm not going to beat myself up over silly little things. Right. And yeah, so the way I see myself, as I'm also the messenger, I'm also the facilitator, no different than anybody else. It doesn't matter if I'm on this path, I'm still a facilitator. Right. I'm being human, like that's who I am. I'm a human being. And hey, I come here to experience it all.
Yes. And
I think the bottom line for every and anything is love. Have love for yourself and have love for everyone. Just love. 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 I always say there's a song for everything.
There's a song for everything. So how can people find you? Because I want people to search you out, find you, contact you for reads, contact you for teachings, whatever. I want them to find you. So
yes, I'm definitely going to be doing, that's why I'm getting my new computer, because I want to set up classes and, excuse me, and do much more online readings and classes and stuff. So they can actually just Google my name, Valerie Cameron, and my website should show up. And also either that or it's www.earth-balance-healing.com.
Okay.
Yes. So
Beautiful.
either or. Yeah.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. I really hope people
Yeah.
look for you, reach out to you, because you are such a blessing to so many people, Valerie. I'll tell you what.
Oh,
You know, even not that long ago when I was thinking, God, I want to play out with my grandkids and this and that, but I don't know if I can do this. I'm getting old. I turn on Facebook and here you are sledding. You know,
oh, you saw that? I know.
I did. You even said hi to me. You did a shout out. I'm like, oh my God.
I know. Here I am, 66 years old, and I'm sledding
You're
down
sledding.
hills, and oh my God, oh yeah, I'm gonna go tubing here.
Oh
I'm
my
gonna
God.
go. Yeah, we're gonna tube down the river. Oh,
Oh,
you know what? I have to let my inner child out every once in a while, and I think,
you do.
and again, that's for everybody. That's not just for me. I'm telling everybody. Let your inner child out. Have fun, laugh, have a good time. And I am now a great grandmother.
Oh my God, congratulations.
Yes, he came into this world February 3rd. So I'm really stoked. Yeah, oh my God. So I get to see him again in September. So yeah, I went down for a week there, and so I'm going to go
I
back
love
in
it.
September. Yeah, really, really exciting time. So I still have to pinch myself to think, you're a great grandmother.
That's awesome.
It's
I
like,
can't wait for that to happen. I'm telling you, I'm going to tell the world. I'm getting
Yeah.
old now, guys.
no. We don't get old. We don't get old.
We get wise.
No.
We get wise.
Yeah, we get, exactly. I don't see myself. I'm the new 40.
I'm telling you, I get that, you know, because I actually told somebody else the other day, they went, because my grandchildren came out, they went, you're a grandma? I said, my oldest grandchild will be 10 this year.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
My youngest just turned 20.
oh my
grandchild.
gosh, that's awesome.
So
I love
I
it.
know. So,
love it.
and such beautiful, really beautiful. And I'm so happy that I got to, when we had lived up north, for 11 years, we took all 4 grandkids every summer for 5 weeks. Every year. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. And yeah, it was really phenomenal. I'm so happy that I did that. It was such a blessing, and we had the place, and we had, the water right there, the boat out front, so the kids, it was a great experience.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Valerie, for being on with me today. I kept you over. I'm sorry, but I didn't want you to stop, I thank you so much for being part of this today. In my 1-year show, you don't even know. I'm so happy you were here for that.
Oh, I was so excited I felt so blessed and honored, actually, when you asked me. I thought, wow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
So much.
What. Oh, I just simply adore you.
I adore you too.
Oh, will you have a beautiful day? Please, we need to reach out and say hi outside of radio and stuff,
Absolutely. Don't ever be shy.
Oh, I'm not going to be.
Yeah.
Many blessings, my dear. Thank you so much. You have a great day.
Yes, you too.
Everybody, we'll be back in a few minutes here with Aunt Renee on WLTK. Let's Talk Digital Radio, School Through Spirit. Oh, Valerie, thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, it's such a blessing. I just so enjoyed having you. Oh my gosh, I love it.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this. And it's funny because I felt like I was supposed to be doing something, and I thought, no, you know what? I'm supposed to be spirit led. That's just the way it works for me. It's always the way it had. I am not a person who can pre-prepare something.
Right.
Because my sisters, oh, did she give you questions? And I'm going, no. Why would it? Why would she do that?
I used to, and I don't do it anymore because I like how it goes now.
Yeah.
I used to give questions and now it's like, oh no, that's not how I'm supposed to do it. But I got to go live again
Yep.
with your weekly
Okay.
reading in 30 seconds. So thank you so much. We'll talk after sometime, okay?
Okay, you betcha.
You have a
Bye-bye.
beautiful day, darling.
Yeah, you too. Bye-bye.
Ghostly-voices.com. A book of mystery, a book of one man's journey, a book of the afterlife, a book you must read. Ghost and Me by five-time award-winning author Kevin Killen is a book of one man's journey in the search of the afterlife. Read of his chilling childhood experience, his investigative journeys, and his opinions of paranormal activity. Ghost and Me by Kevin Killen, an Ozark Mountain publication. Get your copy today online or wherever books are sold.
Welcome back to School Through Spirit. I'm DeEtte Renee, your host here on WLTK-DB. Let's Talk Digital Radio. I have spent this beautiful morning with Miss Valerie Cameron. I hope you were here to tune in. I have to laugh because, you know, at the beginning of the show, I was talking about new beginnings and putting chapters behind us, and we are limitless and all of that. All of that. And anybody that has ever watched this show or listened to this show knows I've always said I am not a technical person, and anything that can happen to me is going to happen to me, and I got to figure out the rest of the world to figure it out. And I'll tell you what, that's exactly what that's happened for a year. I mean, I bought a new computer because all of it could happen. And sure as shit, I'm just gonna say it, sure as shit, my 1 year anniversary, my internet went out. Booyah, gone. Booyah, gone. And then I got an email from my internet company. They're doing maintenance. And I went, really? Like they just gave me an email. And then the funny thing is while I was, you know, I flipped to my phone, got reconnected, going on. I looked at my phone and it said I had no internet. I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? I mean, maintenance is one thing that's sketchy, in, out, whatever. Well, and then I re-looked at the email and it said not until Thursday. And I thought, what's going on? So I went and checked. It looks like my little grandson, 20 months old, turned off my whole system. My whole system. He shut the whole thing down. Apparently he wanted nana. He was saying no before he wanted my attention. He got it, didn't he? So on my own, guys, I fixed my own system, rebooted my own system without any help from the big guys or Todd, and got myself up and going again. So here's to my new year, my limitless, and to say I can learn technology. With that being said here, guys, I am going to do our weekly spread. I'm going to do a quick one this today. I'm just hearing, wow, I'm hearing 3 cards. Wow, 3. I said quick. I didn't think it'd be that quick. 3 cards today. And we're going to do it with a backup card also. A clarification card. I'm not sure which one they're going to pick. They got my brain all over the place. So today we're using those Intuitive Soul Oracle cards by Lisa Williams. Of course, like I tell you, if you really like the deck that I've been displaying for a year, you know, they're not being manufactured anymore as far as I know, unless they restart it again. So go to your bookstore, get them. If they don't have them, see if they can order them because some distributors still have some. But get them now because they may not be here forever, okay? So picking 3 cards, you can pick 1, 2, 3, pick a number. If you can't set on one number, pick all the numbers, whatever you feel. I don't care, be greedy. I don't care, this is your reading, it's not my reading. I'm just gonna spot it out and chatter, okay? So if you picked card number 1, like the yes card, the yes card. And it says your answer is yes to the question you're seeking. Now you're going, really? Yes? Really? Yes? Well, either you asked a direct question, like not like a what am I doing with my life? Like, should I get married? Should I not get married? So should I have my job? Should I not? That's gonna be simple yes. That's gonna be a simple yes. But when you look at the more detailed of this card and you're looking at the picture of it, you see a door, a hand on the knob, and you see a rainbow and clouds outside of it with the door opening up. And I'll tell you what, to me, this card is about opportunities. This is your time to shine. This is your time to open up that door and say yes to those opportunities that are coming because they're there. But I will tell you, you have to open up the door for that. And when I say open up the door, it means open up your mind, open up your heart, realize that you know what, you can do more. So it's yes to opportunities, guys, that are coming into your life, and yes to whatever question you might have asked. Number 2 is, again, the playground card. I think we had this last week. This is youth, playfulness, inner child, fun, and laughter. And if you pick number 2, really it is, you know what? There is so much about life everywhere. There really is. But you know what? As adults, we tend to um, get real serious, real work, work. So you know what? You do have to look inside. You have to find that inner child of yours, and you have to have fun. It doesn't matter if you're 18 or 80. You have to look inside. You have to have fun. You got to let that inner child go out. You know what? It once in a while, jump on a skateboard and go. Don't break a hip, okay? Or an ankle. Sometimes you just have to go and jump in the water and swim, even if you don't normally do it. You just have to have fun. You have to laugh. You have to have giggles. Have a great time, okay? So if you pick number 2, it's time for you to look for that inner child, relax, and take a break. Now, if you pick number 3, we're looking at plan, and that's the plan card, making plans, seeing your future, and making changes. So if you pick number 3, we're looking at this is time. Put your things down in writing, put it in from your head to paper, head to computer, make a plan for your future. Okay. That's the stage you're at. You're ready to make changes. You've been looking at your life going, you know what? I need to make some changes. And it may not be direct. I mean, it might be huge changes. It might be selling your car, your house, and moving to another country. It might be something as simple as, you know what? I want to change my furniture. I want to change my room around. I need some sort of change in my life. Now is the time to do it. Okay, now is the time to do it. And it's really funny because when I'm looking at these cards, now, like I said, 3 is time to plan and make changes. For some reason, I feel like there's somebody out there that went, I need all 3, booyah, you know what I mean? What's all 3? And when I look at all 3 cards, 1 being the yes card, you know, and I'm going to reiterate these before I go to the whole reading. 1 being the yes card, it's time for you to say yes to opportunities that are coming your way. And the answer is yes to whatever personal question you might have asked. 2 being the inner child, life is your playground, have fun. And 3, making a plan and making changes in your life because it's time. Now, when I look back at these and I put all 3 of these together, and I haven't done that in a long time. I mean, it's been a long time since I put all the cards together as one big reading. And I will tell you what, when I do that this week, because they're telling me to, I'm looking at this as, you know what, if you picked all 3 cards and what's that mean as a whole, you really do have a lot of opportunities ahead of you that you've been thinking about. You've been thinking about those opportunities, thinking about what you want to do with your life, what changes you want to make, you know, but you really don't know which way to go. So at this point, you're going to have to look inside what makes you have fun, what makes you really joyous, what makes your heart sing, what is at work? You know what I mean? What is just, wow, I want to do this. And then start to incorporate those changes. Because I'll tell you what, everybody when they were little wanted to be a fireman, or they wanted to be a nurse, they wanted to be a doctor, they wanted to be a bum, whatever it was they wanted to be that really made their heart soar. Trust me, this is your time because you've been thinking about that. You've been thinking about that. You just haven't really opened up to the door to the opportunities. You haven't opened up the door to the opportunities. So what's that mean? It means, you know what? Look within, see what makes your heart soar, see what makes your life have fun. Okay. Literally go, okay, yeah, wait a second. I've never really investigated that. And then go forth. Start to investigate it, make a plan, make those changes. Okay. So right now, this must mean that whoever wanted all 3 cards, you're looking for, what do I need to do with my life? And it's time for you to look at the inside of you and say, where do I want to go? And make it happen. Okay. Make that happen. Booyah. What does it mean, the booyahs today? And you know what? I keep looking at this Akashic Tarot deck, which, as you know, I've brought it out. I really only use it for you guys. I don't use it much. It's the Akashic Tarot Guide, Akashic Tarot, and it is by Sharon Ann Klinger and Sandra Ann Taylor. It is a beautiful deck. It's a gorgeous, beautiful deck. It is a 62 card deck, so it's amazing. It is about the Akashic record deck. But I will tell you what, they're telling me, you know, I pick off the top, I did, and this is what we're using for a clarification card. Oh my God, you seen me shuffle. You seen me shuffle. You heard it if you didn't see it. And here you go. I picked this same exact card as a clarifier the last time. Okay. It is the King of Keys. It's the King of Keys. And I love this card because when I'm looking at it, this card is clarifying that you have the keys to the opportunities in your life. You are the king of your world. You are the king of your destination. And you need to be proud of that. You need to own that and realize that you have the keys to your own world. And your world is huge. Your lands are huge. Your life is huge. Be proud, stand in the moment, realize that you are the one that's going to make the difference. Nobody else does. You have to open up to your own possibilities of your world. So here you go. Take it in your face. Oops. But you can't make this up, guys. You cannot make this shit up. Okay? Every one of these cards led to this clarifier saying, this is you. Only you can do it. And you have to realize that you own the keys to your car and you're the one that's got to get in and move. Okay? So, oh my God, I love that. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, I'm going to take a quick picture so that I can put it under the post of this for everybody. So let's take this picture, get it going. Let's do that. The wire, bing. Okay, there we go. With that being said, oh my God, I love what I do, guys. I love what I do, whether I do it with cards for you guys or I do it just without cards off the top of my head for the rest of the world when I do readings. I love, love, love what I do. Because you can't make it up. You can't. It blows me away every time. And how right, how on it really is. Okay, it amazes me. It amazes me. So I want to talk to you guys about a little things here because the show's about to be over and I want to tell you how to find me if you came in at the end here. If you came in somewhere at the end and you going, oh my God, I missed the whole live. I want to tell you, where can you find me if you've missed this? Number one, go to the station, WLTK-DB.com, okay? When you go there, you're going to be able to go to archives. Click on the archives. You're going to be able to find my show, School Through Spirit. Very soon, you're going to be able to see my own face with my own show, my own page of actually that archive. It'll make it a little easier. For right now, it's the old-fashioned way. We're all in there grouped together, which is awesome because we're a great family. But go into archive. That's going to take you into Podbean. On that note, we're not just on Podbean as a podcast, guys, because my whole show gets flipped into a podcast form. You can find it on iHeartRadio, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify. I know we're there. I also know that we're on Amazon Music. You can find us there. And if you're more of an audio type thing, like download book time things, we're on Audible, guys. We're on Audible. It's a radio show on Audible. Come on. We hit the big time, whoop, 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 and we're keep growing, and you're going to find us more and more places. So that's a big one. So if you listened, or if you're more of a, I want to see it and listen to it type thing, you know what? Simply, you can either go to my page, Jet Renee, on Facebook, can you like that? On Facebook, and you can find it there, okay? Because I always share it to my channel there on my Facebook page for everybody to see. Or you can go to the YouTube channel, okay? You can go to the YouTube channel and look up WLTK-DB and you can find it there, okay? So either way, we're there. There's no excuses not to find us, not to see us, not to hear about us and go from there. Now I'm going to tell you about the lineup. I always find I need to just memorize the lineup. And you think after all these weeks, I would have done it. So on Monday mornings, you can always find me at School Through Spirit at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. Monday evenings, we have got the Paranormal and Cryptic Show at 8 p.m. And that's tonight. And that's with JC and Stacy. JC. I put them together. Jay and Stacy. And that's Paranormal and Cryptic Show. Tomorrow we get a little busy at 7 p.m. We have New Bridge Radio with Kevin Mackey. At 8 p.m. we have Haunted Voices Radio with their very own Todd Bates. And at 11 or at 10 p.m., we have Paranormal Pete with Pete Orbea. I got his name. I know I nailed his name. I'm better. I get names. I'm telling people I get names. Now on to Wednesday evenings. We have got The Good Shit Show at 7 p.m. and that's with Nicole Ford and Missy Hart. That is a show that you want to watch because it's going to get you thinking. It's going to send you more knowledge than you ever thought you could look for. I'm telling you, it's an awesome show. On to Friday evenings. Oh my gosh, we alternate Friday evenings. We got Remember Me Radio at 8 p.m. with Tori Smith and Renee Rodriguez. Okay. And then it alternates. It alternates every Friday. So then we have Secrets Within with Renee Rodriguez and Robert Riggy. I said that name correctly. I'm nailing names. Booyah, got you. Make sure you check into the station because I'll tell you what, we have so much going on, so much information. It's awesome, okay? And as always, if you want your own station, or not your own station, because we got that. But if you want your own show, you want to rock it, you want to come in, you want to have a voice, you want to babble like I do for an hour or two. Oh my God. Go to the website, WLTK-DB.com. And you know what? There's a little thing there. It's a little form. Send it into Todd. He's going to look at it. He's going to come back at you and say, I think we can do that. Unless it's really out there. But trust me, he's a really out there kind of guy. So unless you want purple unicorns, I'm kidding. He'd do a purple unicorn show too. But literally anything. You want your voice, go to Todd. You know what? He loves us. He's the man behind the magic. You just have to come in with an idea. He's going to help you bring it together. And you can have a weekly show or bi-weekly show, whatever it is. And if there's something a little less that you want to do, but you want to look for advertising, we have got some amazing specials going on after COVID specials. I'm telling you what. And in our advertisement is amazing because again, Todd gets in there, he helps you do it, he makes it happen. It's amazing, it's unique. And what really goes on is, you know what, here we are on the air. This is the genius of internet radio and being the internet. It's because I am here right now talking to you through our internet station. Other stations pick me up. Okay, other stations pick all these shows up and they play them in their neck of the woods. And then other stations pick it up from there. And it just goes on and on. And so does your advertisement. Because when we have a break, your advertisement shines. Got it? Awesome. So hook us up with WLTK-DB.com for all your advertisement needs. And if you want your own radio show, okay? With that being said, next week, oh my God, I got the Master of the East Coast coming on. Well, one of them. I won't say the master, but one of the masters of the East Coast, one of the names coming up is Anthony Mikolajewski. Got that name. Hey, I'm going to be 3 for 3 today. Anthony Mikolajewski. He is the Asheville medium. So you don't want to miss that. Okay. You don't want to miss Anthony. His story is amazing. He's a phenomenal guy. You're going to love him. So don't miss me or miss him next Monday at 9 a.m. Central Time here with School Through Spirit on WLTK-DB.com. I'm DeEtte Renee, your host. See you next week.